So Camp Hughes for me is one of the most powerful sites in the world to visit. And certainly as a Canadian and a Manitoban, this place really resonates. The tens of thousands of men who trained here and went on to fight on the Western Front, among whom are many thousands who never returned to Canada. The First World War is an immense tragedy. None of the conditions for which it is fought are actually resolved by the war. It sets the conditions which allow the rise of Hitler to power and cause the Second World War. It sets the conditions which allow the communists to come to power in Russia, which causes the Cold War. And so it is directly or indirectly from the First World War. We have tens of millions of people around the world are killed in the 20th century. The First World War is Canada's largest war. 66,000 Canadians die. And that has a huge impact on Manitoba. Manitoba had the highest enlistment rate in the country in the First World War. Just over 60% of the eligible men between the ages of 18 and 45 enlisted. So you can imagine, take out 60% of the men in that age group from every community. And then on top of that, so many of them came home wounded, permanently disabled, and tens of thousands of Canadians and certainly over 10,000 Manitobans didn't come home at all. They come home and a lot of these people really suffer for the rest of their lives. There's no recognition of post-traumatic stress at the time. They're really meant just to be quiet, stiff upper lip, don't talk about the war. And it's such a huge impact on the population of Manitoba. In essence, you have almost any town of, say, 2,000 people. There will probably be 400 men in that community who'd served in the war. These guys come home and then they build Canadian society. Having fought overseas, they are then the leaders in the communities, they are the leaders of the Legion, they are the mayors, they are the aldermen, and they really build Manitoba into what we have today. Their service isn't just military service, they serve their communities for the rest of their lives, partly out of that sense of duty that they gained in the First World War. But I don't think there's a better place to try and visualize what the Western Front was like than Camp Hughes. And for me, this is really hallowed ground. So many people from our province passed through here on their way to the Western Front. For many, this was their last stop in Manitoba in their lives. And it's completely deserted and quiet now, but you know, if you close your eyes, you can still hear the echo of 30,000 men training here, of rifle fire on that range, and of them cheering as they climbed those ladders and went over the top here, training to go to the Western Front and win those great victories like Vimy Ridge and Amiens, for which the Canadian Army is so famous.